Hello guys, welcome to today's webinar. As mentioned in our email, today we're talking about leveraging the power of automatic optimization for native ads. As you may already know, some of the sources, like the big players, may quickly become hard to deal with, especially when you're running volume. And since the traffic is changing pretty quickly and the publishers are changing pretty quickly, the thing is that you need to watch out for your money and make sure that your budgets are being optimized right on time without having to waste too much of your ad spend. So to start with our presentation today, I would like to emphasize a bit what are the traffic sources and tracker accounts that we support in our platform. So basically, you can connect an unlimited amount of traffic source accounts when it comes to Taboola, Outbrain, RevContent, Yahoo Gemini, MGID, AdSkeeper, Volume, Content Ad, Active Revenue, and Run Native, as well as on the tracker side, we have Volume, AdsBridge, Binom, Thread Tracker, FunnelFlux, BeamMob, RedTrack, Google Analytics, which, by the way, can be coupled together with any of these other trackers. It's Kintura supported, as well as Everflow, which is currently in beta. So once you connect your accounts, it will take the system roughly 10 to 15 minutes to pull your campaign data, and you will be able to get your campaigns data all aggregated in one dashboard. So to get to the basics, the standard campaign setup, mostly on native, is divided into sides. Like we have the traffic source side and we have the tracking platform side. So on the traffic source, we have cost and ad clicks, and there is where we upload all our ads. And from our tracker, we generate a campaign link that will take care on sending our visitors to the landing pages and to the offers that we are rotating. So since we are always split testing, we want to make sure that on the ad level as well as publisher level of each campaign, we're getting a good performance in terms of click-through rate, ad clicks, landing page click-through rate, and stuff like that, as well as conversions. So by having all these two main sources of information aggregated in one platform, like the optimizer, you can easily see and match the performance metrics from one side to another without having to worry too much about the time zone difference or calculate any differences or match the data manually using spreadsheets and stuff and other tools that might easily become a waste of time for your daily activity. So instead of focusing on your main duties, on your day-to-day activity, you end up wasting valuable time of yours on aggregating data in order to make decisions. So let me share my whole screen with you with from inside the platform. So here we have it. So when you connect to the optimizer, you basically you will get a main dashboard where you will see the overall performance of all connected accounts, and that way you can quickly see what is the total ad spend for the last 30 days, or by default for the last 30 days, what is the total net profit, number of clicks, average cost per acquisition, revenue, ROI, conversions, and earnings per click, as well as a graphical overview here. And down below, you will easily see the top winning and top losing campaigns, as well as the performance sorted out by traffic source. When first connecting to the system, all you need to do is to connect your accounts through the account wizard. So basically, here at the start, you will have nothing. So simply click on Add New, and you will be able to connect one of the supported traffic source accounts. So let's say we're adding RevContent here, and what we're going to do here is that we're going to give it a name, basically, or as a good practice, it would be to set the name of your account. So let's say Josid's Rev account. Here I will specify the time zone. Let's say I have it on European time zone, Europe Rome. I have it in Euro, and I will simply add the client ID and client secret that I can find from my RevContent account. If you need to see where to find this data, you can simply click on how to add RevContent, and here you will get all the information, like where can you get the API information and stuff like that. So it's pretty straightforward. And once you click save, you will move to the next step where you will add the tracker. So let's say I'm adding volume this time. I will give it a name. So let's say native volume. I will add the API access key and access key ID and access key, as well as specify the conversion registration time reporting as it is on my volume. So usually, if I'm not wrong, it is based on visit timestamp, but if you have changed it and set it on postback timestamp, you can easily set it here. And let's say here you can add any custom domains that you might be using for your campaigns in order to make sure that everything is tracking properly. Once you hit save, you move to the next step and you specify the traffic source from the list of connected traffic sources or traffic source configurations on your volume, which basically matches the account that you connected. Now, what happens, and this is pretty important, what happens is that sometimes you may not have one of the required tokens, and let's say you don't have the widget ID, and you will get a red alert message in here. So in this case, this will missing one of the required tokens will affect the way how your data is being tracked and is being matched between the two platforms. So basically, all you will need to do is just go back to your volume, edit your traffic source configuration, update your tracking code on your campaign links, which is something that can be done in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, and get back in here, refresh the connection, and hit on finish. Once you get on the screen, you can add another integration or go straight to the dashboard where you will get your campaigns data. So here, as you may see, you have all the information of specific of your campaigns, like total budget, daily budget, every CPC, the earnings per click, traffic source click, like the clicks that are being pulled from the traffic source, tracker clicks that are being pulled from your tracker, landing page clicks, landing page click-through rate, tracker conversion, cost per acquisition. And whenever we see a tracker side metric that involves cost, that means that the cost reported on the optimizer is the cost that is coming from the traffic source and not the one that you are manually updating on the optimizer or on your tracker, or the cost that is being passed through tracking tokens whenever they're available, or whatever other way. So basically, when we're talking about tracker cost per acquisition or tracker net profit, we're talking about the cost that is being pulled by the optimizer from the traffic source and the number of conversions or the revenue as recorded on your tracker. So here you have the full overview of the campaign's performance, and if you don't like the way I have organized or the system has the metrics organized in the table, you can always click on columns on the right side and reorder any fields of the tables, like remove a specific field or add another field. Like here we have Google Analytics metrics that you can easily remove or reorganize in case you're using Google Analytics. And like we have the same performance overview from the traffic source to your tracker on the campaign level, we do have the same on the widget level, as well as on the content level. So if we're talking about Taboola, we have it on the widget level. like this. So basically, you will have traffic source and tracker data all in one place, so you can easily see which sites and which publishers are generating your revenue, have a good engagement rate with your landing pages, and are generating enough conversions and enough revenue to back up their ad spend and become profitable. So analyzing this type of data manually or from one traffic source to your tracker, and having to match everything together obviously will take pretty much time of yours. So better focus on the most important stuff, as well as the same performance overview on the ad level. And while having your campaigns connected or reported on the optimizer, you don't need to make any changes in order to have them here. Or on the other hand, you can simply create the automatic rules, which I will go through in a bit. Or if you want to create a new campaign, you can easily create it from the optimizer, and that's a good reason for that. So let me show you first a specific campaign. So let's say I'm creating a RevContent campaign here. So basically, you will have a seamless experience like you have on your traffic source, but with added features. So let's say this is a desktop campaign for the e-com products on UK. Let's say the bid amount would be 30 cents. I will have a daily budget of $100, and I can easily check here if I want to optimize my campaign for engagement or cost per acquisition ROI in case I have the pixels already placed. Let's leave it on engagement. I can specify the start and end date of my campaign, and I can include specific topics like health and fitness, lifestyle, uh, uplifting or inspirational, because I think they align better with align pretty well with my product. And here I can specify the country. So let's say it's United Kingdom, and I will specify only desktop device targeting, and I want to target only English speakers. So I have made something ready, even though it is for Taboola. So let's say this is the tracking code that I need to place on my campaign level. I will specify the target URL, which is the one that I get from my tracker. And I will specify as well the headlines that I want to use for my ads. So let's say I'm specifying here, or I'm adding here 5 headlines, and I will add other the images. So let's make this UK. I can specify the brand name here, and I will add the images that I would like to use. So in this case, I will use this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I have added 6 images, so the system automatically generates me all possible image and headline variations. So let's say in case I want to change the focus, or I want to crop an image, I can easily do it from here without having to go to Photoshop or edit my images many times. So here I have an issue with the viewable size of the image. Like here, I want to make it more square, and stuff like that. And in case I don't like any of the image and headline variations, I can always deselect them from here. So let's say I'm leaving everything for now. So in just a few seconds, I created 30 ads using 5 headlines and image variations. The next thing I want to do is to move on the next step, where I can create other campaign variations, as well as I can select or add specific rules that I want to use on my campaigns in order to optimize them and make sure that my ad spend is being properly managed without having to waste or lose much money. So here I can quickly add specific rules. So let's say I want to block everything that is not converting, or in case you have previously created group of rule groups, you can always use rule groups which will automatically add all the rules which are present on the on that group. So let's say I'm adding this rule group, aggressive optimization, which I already have here, and this adds me automatically to automatic rules. Now, the cool thing is that if I want to create another variations, let's say I want to target mobile only, I can always create a variation without having to go through the campaign or ad creation once again. I can specify another bid. So let's say I'm bidding 45 cents in here, and if needed, I can target a different URL or specify the targeted operating systems, as well as I can create another variation, which would be for tablet. And here I will specify another bid. So let's say I'm bidding 38 cents here. And if needed, I can always add another rule to mobile specific campaigns. So in one flow in one flow, we created 3 campaigns with 60 ads each, which means that we have created a whole lot of content without having to deal with traffic source interface and do everything manually one by one. And the cool thing is that as soon as the campaign gets approved, my automatic rules will be taking care of safeguarding my ad spend and my campaign's performance. So once I click done in here, the campaigns will be pushed to the traffic source, and they will soon be present on my campaigns list. So getting back to the campaigns list, I would like to go back to the rules. So basically, we can create various type of rules, and the first one to start with would be the ones on the publisher level or widget level or site level, depending on how you call them. So let's say on native, since we're running mostly with pre-landers or landing pages to warm up our audience, what we're looking for initially is to optimize based on landing page clicks, because if we don't have landing page clicks, we don't have conversions. So in that case, we want to make sure that our first stage of engagement is performing well. So any publisher which has generated at least 50 clicks or 100 clicks and has generated no landing page clicks and no conversions, like we have here on example 1, will be blocked. So basically, we want to have we want to have the rules take care of that whenever needed, or in case we want to do it on ad spend. Sorry. In case we want to do it based on ad spend, then we can easily specify the spend of on the traffic source level, the landing page click, as well as the tracker conversions. Another way would be to work based on the ad click-through rate, especially if you're working on CPM basis, or you're buying traffic on CPM basis, like you would do on a DSP like Volume DSP. So that where the ad click-through rate is pretty important, and since you are paying for impressions, you want to make sure that the click-through rate on the ad level backs up the cost of your traffic, as well as in terms of conversion. So in this example, we have created a rule to optimize based on the last 7 days, based on impressions, click-through rate, and tracker conversions. Or if needed, we can do it on an ad spend basis, if we are optimizing or if would like to get rid of high cost per acquisition publishers. So by the end of this webinar, I will send you the list of rule examples that you can use and adopt to your daily needs. But for now, let's move back to our platform and let's focus a bit on the rules. So here on the rules page, you do have quite a huge list of options. So let's say you can create block and unblock publisher or widget rules, block and or apps, depending on the traffic source. And whenever you see the traffic source insignia on the right side, it means that it is supported by the traffic source. So you can easily block and unblock widgets or publishers or apps. You can easily pause or activate campaigns, pause or activate contents or ads. You can quickly change the campaign bid, change the campaign budget, and getting to traffic source specific optimizations for RevContent. You can quickly pause or activate targets, pause or activate sites for volume DSP and active revenue, pause or activate exchanges for volume DSP, pause or activate sections for Outbrain, which is where most of the optimization for Outbrain happens. And unlike Taboola or RevContent or MGID, where you block mostly widgets or sites or publishers, on Outbrain, for those that are not experienced with Outbrain, most of the optimization happens on the section level, because you have a limit, if I'm not wrong, of 30 widgets to be blocked. And by cutting down widgets for Outbrain, you risk on blocking potential profitable spots on your Outbrain campaign. So better focus on the section optimization level. For Yahoo Gemini, you can easily pause or activate ad groups, domains, or you can change for RevContent target bid as you would do on RevContent interface. And for MGID, AdSkipper, and Outbrain, and especially for Outbrain, which doesn't have this feature available on their API, on their interface, it is exclusively available only on API. You can always automate the content bid changes using rules. So practically, I don't want to lose you much time with the rule options, but basically everything that is changeable on the traffic source, it is changeable using rules on our system. So let's go over a specific example. So let's say you want to get rid of specific publishers based on specific criteria. So let's say during the last 14 days, you want to optimize based on landing page click-through rate and conversion, and you're running this type of optimization based on the last 14 days. Let's call this rule block widgets based on LP CTR and conversions. So let's say if the traffic source spent, and we're doing the spent here, is greater or equal than $15. So let's say you have an offer which pays out $5 or between $5 to $10. So you're giving each publisher at least $15 of ad spend, and you're expecting to have at least 5% or 3% landing page click-through rate before a conversion happen. So in this case, we add landing page click-through rate to be at least 5%. So in case it is less than 5% and it has generated no conversions on our tracker, we want to get rid of these publishers because we're just wasting money on them. And since we do have hundreds to thousands of publishers we can get and buy traffic from, it's not worth keeping on wasting our ad spend on those publishers. Here we can specify the campaigns that we would like to apply this rule to. And here we tell the system how often we would like to check if these thresholds are reached or not. So when specifying every 10 minutes, what we do is that the system will go every 10 minutes back to the history of the last 14 days and check if any of the publishers has reached these thresholds, like $15 of ad spend or more, and has less than 5% landing page click-through rate, and has generated zero tracker conversions. In case you're running CPC feeds or traffic arbitrage campaigns, you may want to you happen to have a delay of the revenue and the conversions, like 24 to some hours plus. So let's say you don't have all the data live and in order to address that, you can easily add an exclusion of today and yesterday from your optimization window. So whenever the system goes to check the data, when we specify exclude days from the interval, it means that we're telling the system go back to the last 14 days, but ignore today and yesterday because I haven't updated the data. So this way we avoid blocking anything without having the data of it or without having accurate data. Or on the other hand, we can create another rule that will work on our advantage, to unblock anything based on the last 7 days if the tracker ROI is positive. So whenever we have anything greater than minus 15%, which has good potential of becoming profitable, we can have it unblocked automatically. So no matter if we're getting the conversions with delay or not, the system will make sure to unblock these widgets for us. Now, the thing is that when running specific offers, especially from offer networks or with some exclusive advertisers you may have partnered with and you are working for, you may want to make sure that you don't keep on sending traffic from publishers that they complain about the quality of the traffic you are sending from. So let's say I'm running, let me remove this a bit. So let's say I'm running a RevContent campaign, or better, running 3 RevContent campaigns for a specific partner of mine, and everything is going pretty well on an overall perspective, but on some publishers they had some quality issues. So let's say they had an issue with the quality on publisher 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on publisher 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even though these publishers can be profitable for me, and I would like to keep on running traffic on them, the thing is that it's not backing up for my offer network or offer owner. And in order to avoid getting in trouble with my payments, what I can do is that I can include this unwanted widgets on the widgets to exclude from this rule actions and from these rule actions. And this way I make sure that I'm not unblocking or reactivating any widgets that I had issues with previously. Or on the other hand, if I'm working with a block widget rule and I'm optimizing aggressively, but I don't want to block specific sites. Let's say I'm running on Taboola and I don't want to block MSN homepage US. So I want to test these placements and I want to get as much traffic as possible from this site, and if possible all the inventory from this site. So in order to avoid getting or in order to avoid having an aggressive rule block this kind of publisher um, without having spent enough or without giving it enough time to be tested, I can always include it on the widgets to exclude from the list. And this way, I'm pretty safe on blocking anything else but the main publishers I want to get traffic from a specific traffic source. Now, another thing or another approach when optimizing our campaigns would be to block ads based on their performance. So let's say if I'm running a campaign for a week or so and it is new, of course the traffic is going to be distributed among different ads and different placements. But since we have we have sites and placements and ads or categories on specific traffic sources, we would like to be on control or to have under control everything. So this way, we would like to block any ads which are having an awful performance, like they're having a pretty high cost per acquisition, or they don't convert at all, even though they have a good click-through rate. So in this case, we would like to give them, let's say, for a week, if we're spending $100 a day, by the end of the week, we've given our campaign at least $700 of ad spend, and each of our ads, let's say we have 7 ads, has spent roughly $100 each. So let's say if the cost spent of a specific ad is greater or equal than $80 or $70, and I'm not receiving any conversions on the tracker, which means less or equal to 0, I want to block these ads, because even though they might have a good performance, they're not backing up for me. So I'm just spending money on them and I'm not getting any revenue from them. So here we specify the days we're looking back. It could be even the last 60 days or last 90 days. Or another way we can approach this type of rules is by using a cost per acquisition. So let's say the campaign has been running for some time, and we would like to get rid of anything which has a huge cost per acquisition, and basically it's turning our traffic in red for that ad. So let's say if the ad spend of a specific ad is roughly $150, and they have a cost per acquisition greater or equal, or let's say greater than $25, which is our maximum cost per acquisition that we can accept. And in order not to cut anything too aggressively, we may add another option like the tracker ROI. So if the tracker ROI for this ad is less than minus 15%, and with basic math here, but we've seen a lot of people getting confused about it. When we're talking about tracker ROI less than minus 15%, we're talking anything like minus 16, minus 17, 20, minus 50%, and things like that. So if we're doing greater than minus 15%, it means that we are blocking, or we are looking to block anything which has a good ROI. So just make sure we get back to the basics like we have learned them. Another way would be to let's say we would like to change bids. Let's say we're running on volume DSP, and we would like to address specific placements which have a click-through rate average from something to something else, or we would like to change the bids on some sections to address the ROI and make sure that we are getting a good performance out of them. So let's take an example with Outbrain sections, which I had a discussion with one of our users lately. So let's say based on the last 3 days, we would like to match all the sections that have a tracker ROI between minus 25% and a tracker ROI less than minus 5%. So this means that from here we are limiting the changes only to those sections that have a tracker ROI between minus 25 to minus 5%. And what we want to do here is that we want to change the bid. So in this case, we would like to change the bid based on our EPC, and we may add another condition here if the EPC is greater or equal to, let's say, 85 cents. We would like to set the bid to 65% of our EPC, which means that we are seeking to get to break even or have a slightly higher ROI, or a small positive ROI, like from 5 to maybe even, if possible, 20% plus. So here we will tell the system to adjust the bid based on the actual EPC. And as you may notice here, we have quite a few options. Like we have the EPC, which is calculated based on the revenue on the tracker and clicks on the traffic source, which is the most accurate one. You can do it based on the traffic source EPC in case you're passing the revenue data back to the traffic source. However, considering how traffic source pixels work and usually they're not too accurate, in this case it would be better to use traffic tracker EPC. If not better, use EPC. And in case you would like to change the bid based on tracker EPC, you can use always tracker EPC. And in case you're using Google Analytics, you can always use earnings per sessions or earnings per view, especially if you're running traffic arbitrage. So let's say we're doing it based on the calculated EPC, and we're telling the system do not bid less than 45 cents or 25 cents, and do not allow the bid to go above about 85 cents. So basically, we're telling the system do not go below this range and above this range. In this case, we specify the campaign that we would like to apply the rule to. And in terms of changes, when it comes to Outbrain, we do have a limit. Like Outbrain has a limit, not the optimizer, that you can only run a specific or a limited amount of bid changes per campaign. So because of that, you may want to be a bit conservative about it. Like you can do it every few hours, or something else that you can do is that you can specify the hour of the day that you would like to run these changes. So let's say you want to run these changes once or twice a day. So let's say you're going to run them on 9 a.m. during weekdays, and on 7 p.m. still during weekdays. So we excluded Saturday and Sunday. What you can do here is that we can specify the execution frequency to only 1 hour, which means that as soon as 9 a.m. kicks in and 7 p.m. kicks in, the bid changes will be set, or our section bids for when we have a tracker ROI between minus 25 to minus 5% and an EPC greater than 85 cents, the bid changes will be set to 75% of our EPC. So the thing is, or the most important one, is not to set the execution frequency to every 10 minutes, because you will basically consume your bid changes, and you will not have enough time to make the changes for your campaigns. So there are a lot of ways to deal with the bid changes. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, for Outbrain, let me get into an Outbrain campaign. For Outbrain, you can always run the bid changes manually. So let's say I'm going to the contents. Let me get some data here. The last 6 months. All right. So here, whenever we see on the platform a blue underline value, it means that we can change the bids. As you may know, on Outbrain, this is not available, but here you can easily say, I want this ad to be of 57 cents of bid, and in order to avoid any human errors or setting unusually high bids, we would the system has some predefined presets that will prevent you from setting extreme bids, like $5 CPC, which can outbid the whole network in a matter of seconds or minutes and drain your daily budget. But in this moment, we know what we're doing, or we would like to set the bid to this other ad to 35 cents, and so on and so forth. So we can easily and always change the bids on the ad level to prioritize the bids that take prioritize the ads that take precedence for our needs, that are converting best and have a good cost per acquisition. So basically, all the options that are on the traffic source are available as well as on the optimizer, plus automated, and plus we get to have some options that some traffic sources don't have available on their interface, but only through their APIs, like this for Outbrain. Another thing that we can do is that when we create specific rules and when we run a specific campaign, or when we run specific verticals, we're not always running a single campaign, but we're running multiple ones, and we usually targeting the same or similar audiences and similar publishers, but always testing different angles and so on. So the thing is that not all publishers and not everything performs well as we would like it to be. So if we're running a lead gen campaign, uh, which we collected some bad publishers from, we would like to use that list of block publishers or block sites again on our future campaigns. So let's say I'm going to one of the campaigns that I had created a blacklist of publishers, and let me see. I want from Taboola, or yeah, or from RevContent, which I guess I don't have many publishers, but I guess it's fine. So let's say from this RevContent campaign, I would like to get a list of all the blog publishers if I haven't already collected them using Smart List, and I want to block them on the other campaigns. So let's say I want to view only blog publishers here, and I have only one, but let me get something pretty quickly here. So I want everything that has generated no tracker conversions. So let's say it equals to 0. And I'm filtering down everything in here. And in bulk actions, I will deactivate all these widgets. All right, so now I can view only block widgets, and I can create a smart list from these widgets. Select them all, and I will create a smart list. And let's say this is lead gen US insurance campaign. Now here, the cool thing is that I can specify another rule that will help me continue to populate this list. And whenever needed, I can share this list to other campaigns so that my data or my previous data don't get wasted, but they get utilized on future campaigns. So this means that I don't need to waste multiple times the same amount of money, or spend the same amount of money on the same publishers to expect like something to change out of the blue. So this is pretty common sense. So I can have automatic rules to block widgets and update this list and share the list of block publishers among other campaigns. So once I click save, I had an error because we're not on a live account here, but once I click save, the list of publishers will be populated. Or in case I want to update an existing list, I can do the same, like select all the publishers, click on copy to clipboard, and go back to the smart lists and update a specific list that I had previously built. So let's say I'm using this one for RevContent, and I will just need to paste the list here. So here, once again, let me specify the rules that I want to use and the campaigns that I want to use, and hit save. So now my list is updated, and I can always use them to to avoid overspending on specific publishers. Now, whenever we have an automatic option like automatically executed action like rules or even manual actions executed, everything gets logged under system activity. And here, as you may see, we do have lots of manual actions. And like you can see here on this specific campaign, we pause this widget, or we change the status from running to paused. So we can always go back to the changes that we made and easily revert any changes by checking at the logs, or even if it is an automatic change, we can always have it logged here. So everything that is being done through the optimizer is logged and saved under the system activity. And in case you're working as a team, and you're using Slack, or you would like to receive notifications to different accounts, you can add up to 5 email accounts here to receive email notifications from when the automatic rules execution details are being sent. Or you can add up to 5 Slack channels or 5 Telegram accounts to make to get these notifications too. So this is pretty much a rough overview on how the optimizer works. Basically, the value is pretty straightforward. So imagine if you're running campaigns on multiple geos, different time zones, and you have to spend all your day behind the computer screen, refreshing your tracker and traffic source statistics like every few seconds, jumping from one Excel spreadsheet to another, and blocking publishers on guts without having to, without even taking in consideration their performance, or making costly mistakes, while you can have a system like this do the work for you, where you just need to give it the instructions, and you're good to go. Also, we have if you notice here, for those that already use the optimizer, we do have a similar version of the platform for pop and push traffic, as well as adult display traffic. So in case you run pop and push traffic along with native campaigns or native traffic, you can quickly jump into to our mobile platform and sign up for an account here as well. You can always start a 15-day trial, and it's free of charge for the first 15 days, or you can go and create an account for Xoptimizer, which is our auto optimization platform with similar features like the native one, and supports currently Exoclick, Traffic Junkie, Traffic Stars, and Traffic Force. Also, if you're running or if you're having a hard time dealing with landing pages, you can always use LanderLab, which is our landing page hosting solution. And when you get inside of LanderLab, you can find already cleaned and ready to use templates for various verticals or various products. So if you see here, you can quickly make a preview. So let's say you're doing listicles or multiple products at the same time. You can you can easily get the template and do it. Or if you're running diet or fat burning campaigns, whatever they're called, you can get the template from here and view how it looks on mobile, on tablet, and on desktops as well. So you can easily preview the templates and simply click on use template to start using it. And when you connect here, you will need to add your Cloudflare account from where our system or LanderLab manages the domain names. So hosting the page here, you won't need to deal anymore with server maintenance or hire someone and add additional costs to your operations, because you have to have someone to take care of your servers where you host your landing pages, or to take care of your domains and subdomains. You can always do everything from here. So let's say for this domain, I would like to add another subdomain, and here I can do it pretty straightforward. I just added promo.extreme.al, or I can add something like finance.extreme.al, and this will automatically create a subdomain or a subdomain on my Cloudflare for this domain, which points to Lender Labs servers where the landing pages are already hosted. Also, if you're working with any of the currently supported click trackers like Volume, Binom, Funnelflux, Bmob, and RedTrack, you can easily add their integration here. And instead of going and creating the landing pages directly on your tracker, you can simply upload them from Lender Lab once you have them here, and you can quickly and easily maintain a conventional naming system for your lenders. Let's say where you specify the language, or where you specify the vertical or product, and once you have them here, you can quickly upload them to your tracker without having to go and create the landing pages manually on your tracker and add stuff like basically you're cutting down your time spent on Blender creation. Also, if you're using spy tools like Perplexity, you can import the landing pages directly from here. So let's say I want to look at everything that has been run for the last year, which has been run from 15 to 70 days roughly. So I would like to get some landing pages from Perplexity, and I did something that I requested some really long data. So let me get, all right. So let's say I want to use the landing page from this ad, and without having to download the landing page to my local storage on my PC and end up with a mess of landing pages downloaded on my landing page, I can easily go here and import it directly to Lender Lab. So this way, the landing page will automatically be imported, and I can easily give it a name. So it's this hair loss I can add any tag, so it is product hair loss, and I can specify the language if I'm wrong. All right, let's give it Spanish here, or it could be Portuguese, but I don't know any of the languages, so sorry if I'm making any wrong settings here. So if needed, we can easily replace all outgoing things. So all we need to do is we need to specify the tracking link. So it could be like track.lenderlab.io/click, and the system will automatically replace the outgoing things without having us to go to the landing page and make changes manually. And once this gets saved, we will be prompted for the domain where we would like to publish this. So I can do it like this, and I can get a preview of the landing page from here. I'm removing this, and I'll finish later because I want to edit this landing page. What I can do here is that I can go to the editor of the landing page, and I will get the option to easily edit the landing page visually without having to change any codes or anything that might uh, make things hard for me. So as you can see, the outgoing links have been automatically replaced, so you don't have to hunt for your competitors or your this landing page existing owner tracking link. So you're going to send the clicks to your own landing to your own tracker and offer. And if needed, I can always edit the image and add this other one. And if I want to use this landing page for a skincare campaign, I can always do it like this. And maybe I have a copywriter that will help me change the text and stuff like that. If needed, we can always check the HTML code of a file, so you can quickly edit the code from here. Or in case you would like to change the style sheet, like you could be quite familiar with coding and you want to run changes differently, you can always go here. And in case you're looking, you need to check for traffic stealing codes. You need to check the JavaScripts here to make sure that nothing is wrong. I hit save after I've made all the changes that I need, and I'm good to go with publishing the landing page. So here, all I would need to do, I will just go to landing page setup, and I will do it like this. Skin example. All right, I'm clicking publish, and my landing page should be visible on the domain that I have already specified. I can specify the tracker here in case I want to upload it on the tracker, but I would like to finish my setup here. And if I click on the landing page, here is the landing page I just created without having to spend really much time. And if you see, the landing page clicks will go through my tracking link. So let's say, yeah, this will go to my tracking link. So this is all I had for you today. I hope you've learned something new, and I hope this was helpful for you. In case you have any questions, or in case you would like to know more about our products, or if possible, you would like to get a personalized, a tailored demo of the platform or walkthrough of the platform to match your specific needs, you can always schedule a demo by sending an email at support@theoptimizer.io, and we can go through all your needs or all your use cases together and make sure that you're getting the most out of our automation and optimization platforms, as well as the landing page platform. So wish you guys have a great week and a healthy stay, especially in this situation with the coronavirus and stuff that is going on. So until the next time, thank you guys and have a great evening. Bye bye.